We finally have major updates on literally one of the most anticipated television events of the entire year. Today, we're diving into a second-by-second breakdown of that explosive new trailer for the Beth and Rip spinoff. And let me tell you, the source material paints a wildly intense picture of what's coming. We're going to unpack every single clue, every hidden detail, and every menacing threat. Look, if you thought leaving their old life behind would actually bring our favorite chaotic couple some peace, yeah, no. You are in for a massive surprise. So settle in, because we are heading straight into what looks like another all-out war. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is the exact dilemma at the heart of this new series. On one side, we've got Beth's ultimate goal, right? A quiet life in Texas with Rip. And the sources point out something super fascinating about her appearance in this new footage. For the first time in a really long time, Beth actually looks tired. She just wants to be miles away from the chaos, the constant enemies, and all that inescapable bloodshed connected to Yellowstone. But then we have the grim reality. The bloodshed? Yeah, it's not staying behind. The past, especially when we're talking about certain high-profile murders, is finally catching up to them. And that brings us to the exact reason this peaceful dream is shattered, like instantly. Her name is Bula. The trailer makes it absolutely crystal clear that peace isn't just delayed, it's simply not coming at all. Bula is positioned as this immediate, highly calculated threat just waiting for them across the property line. Now, usually a bad neighbor just means someone playing loud music at 2 a.m., right? But in this universe, it means lethal, highly organized threats. The sources highlight that she doesn't just seem annoyed about her new neighbors. She looks deeply, deeply dangerous. Honestly, Texas might actually end up being way more volatile than the ranch environment they just escaped from. Just listen to this specific line Bula drops at a restaurant. You bought the Edwards Ranch. Now, why does this matter so much? Because it literally changes everything. It means Bula already knows exactly who Beth and Rip are. She's been watching them, tracking their movements, long before their boots even hit Texas soil. This isn't just some casual neighborhood dispute over a fence line, guys. No, this is a calculated ambush by someone who is already steps ahead of our protagonists. So to understand Bula's intense animosity here, we really have to look at the history. 200 years to be exact. Beth and Rip haven't just bought any random piece of land. They've purchased property right next door to a ranch that's been in Bula's family for almost 2 centuries. Put yourself in her shoes for a second. If someone suddenly bought land next to your family's 2-century-old legacy, you probably wouldn't be thrilled either. But Bula's reaction goes way beyond territorial frustration. Her deep-rooted connection to this land is exactly what fuels this terrifying, defensive rage. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is we hit the massive, dark secret that might blow this entire conflict wide open. The trailer gives us this brief, really haunting glimpse of a buried body. But notice the details here. The man appears to be wearing a suit. Immediately, the source analysis points us to one monumental question. Is that Jaime Dutton? I know, at first the logistics sound completely impossible. How on earth would Jaime's body end up buried all the way down in Texas? But think about it. If Bula has been watching them, and if she really knows who they are, finding the absolute darkest skeletons in the Dutton family closet might be exactly what she's using as leverage. Let's connect the dots here, because the walls are closing in from multiple angles. We've got the buried body in the suit, which ties directly into the fatal fallout of Jaime's murder. But look at that wider universe crossover for a second. The new spin-off, Yellowstone Marshals, is already teasing investigations into Jaime's disappearance. Casey is under immense pressure, and his department clearly suspects the family knows way more than they're admitting. There are even rumors of a crossover involving Beth, Rip, and Casey trying to manage this massive fallout together. So the legal pressure is mounting right at the exact moment they're facing this huge physical threat. And speaking of that local physical threat, there's this seriously ominous line from Bula's bearded ranch hand. No one knows what we do to protect this place. Wow, this is a massive pivot. It suggests that Bula's ranch has its own dark, incredibly violent history. We're talking about hidden crimes, buried bodies of their own, maybe even murders. If people with that kind of ruthless, protective mindset start digging into Beth and Rip's past, uncovering the truth about Jaime wouldn't be difficult for them at all. Bula isn't just going to call the cops. She operates by her own violent code. Which means if Bula uncovers their secrets, this escalates into an all-out Texas war. The sources indicate that the massive explosion shown in the teaser is highly likely to be Beth and Rip's fiery retaliation against Bula's ranch. And, honestly, we all know how Beth and Rip operate. They don't just sit down and talk things out over a glass of sweet tea, right? They are very much a destroy first, ask questions later kind of duo. When they're backed into a corner, their immediate go-to response is absolute, overwhelming violence. But here is where things take a truly shocking turn. The single scariest moment in the entire trailer is seeing Beth and Rip's own newly purchased ranch burning to the ground. And the most striking detail of all? Beth genuinely looks terrified. As the source material points out, that almost never happens. Beth is usually the one striking fear into everybody else. Seeing her terrified tells us that this conflict is going much further and getting much, much darker than either side anticipated. The bold prediction here is that not everyone is going to survive this war, with a pretty strong guess that Bula probably meets her end before the finale. But hey, in this universe, literally anything can happen. Let's move to and see how this builds, because Paramount is definitely not holding back on getting this blood feud to our screens. The chaos officially kicks off on May 15th with a massive 2-episode premiere. After that, we're getting weekly drops leading straight into a fiery July 3rd finale. That gives us exactly 9 episodes. Just 9. We're getting 2 solid months of a tightly packed, highly concentrated dose of television with 0 loose ends. It's going to be a wild ride. Entrenched locals with dark secrets, armed protagonists on the run, and land disputes ending in massive explosions. The stakes have literally never been deadlier. So the only question left is, who will be the first casualty in the Texas War? Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time on The Explainer.